All right, welcome to the video. My name is Wade Daniel Smith. And in this video, I'm going to further discuss the fact that Christians break both the first and second commandment from the Ten Commandments all the time, nonstop all the time. And they go out of their way to break it in new ways even. All right. And claim that they don't. They flat out refuse to admit that they break the commandments over and over again. Especially those two commandments. Let me give you an example. Christ the Redeemer, the alleged statue at Rio de Janeiro, is a direct violation of the second commandment and the first commandment. And the term Christ is not even a Hebrew term, it's a Greek pagan term. But they're claiming that it's a statue of God in the flesh, which is itself a lie. And so even if they do not physically bow down to the statue, in their spirit and in their mind, they admit that they worship the false God man that the statue represents. So it definitely violates the second commandment against graven images to bow down to, even if you do not physically bow down to the graven image. And only bow down to it in your spirit and heart and mind, and don't physically bow down to it. It's still a falsehood and a false God that you worship every day of your life. It violates both the first and second commandment, whether or not you will admit that. But let me show you. In the Bible, the Christians definitely violated both the first and second commandment their own self. The Bible authors violated both the first and second commandment because the very claim that Jesus was God in the flesh is a lie and is a violation of the first commandment. But then John, he actually draws a picture for you, in words at least, of a false God man who he calls the Lion of Judah. At first, that the angel called the Lion of Judah, but then when he starts to describe the Lion of Judah to you, it's obviously not a lion. He next claims that it's a lamb, but when he gets to physically describing it, it's not a lamb either, because it's got 7 eyes and 7 horns, whereas a lamb has only 2 eyes. And depending on how old it is, it might not have any horns at all. But we all know that a lamb does not have 7 eyes and 7 horns, nor is a lamb resurrected from the dead, nor sentient. So whatever he's describing, which is supposedly representing Jesus, is a lie anyway. But the second commandment says, thou shalt not make unto thee any graven images to bow down to, not of anything in heaven itself, nor the earth, nor the sea, nor anything under the earth even. But here he is, making a graven image of a lamb in heaven, and claiming that the graven image of the lamb represents a dead man, and then claiming that the dead man has power and authority that even the God allegedly on the throne doesn't even have, which is to open this book. That is blasphemy. It violates both the first and second commandment. He's claiming that the lamb has more power and authority than the God who he claimed was almighty. Mary worship. I don't know where they get this, because it's not at all even in the Bible, all right? Because the closest anyone ever came to worshiping Mary was to ask her a question, and then she told them to follow Jesus, which is also a lie. But she never, apparently, supposedly, you never told Mary to worship Mary anywhere in the New Testament. But for some reason, Catholics make a statue of Mary all over the place. All right, they consider Mary more important than Jesus himself, apparently, and bow down to statues of Mary and pray to Mary. They don't believe a dead man can answer their prayers. They pray to Mary instead of Jesus. All right, and she's dead too. But they'll literally repeat the rosary 10 or 50 times in a row. It's the exact same prayer, And Jesus himself told you not to do that, so I don't know why they're doing it. But he's a liar and she's a liar. But Jesus specifically told you not to use vain repetitions when you pray. But for some reason, they'll pray to Mary and repeat the exact same nonsense every day of their lives, anywhere from 10 to 50 times a day for some reason. And falsely claims in the rosary that Mary is the mother of God, which is a lie. Falsely claims that she's the queen of heaven, which is a lie. And falsely claims that she's still a virgin, which is also a lie. The text in the Gospels says that Jesus had other flesh and blood brothers, and that Mary was their mother. So you can't justify claiming that Mary was a perpetual virgin anyway, no matter what you claim to believe about Jesus, because the text claims that James was his own flesh and blood brother. And James also claimed that. So it's all a lie. Your entire religion, both Mary and Jesus, is a lie.